his side want to advance on in the tournament.
Nick Alexic is the middle official. Jamie Watson, Dallin Cup with you. Game number 2 of 4 today on the ACC Network. Wake Forest on the road at SMU. The winner moves on to the semifinals. Long ball played to the feet of Martin Dominguez, the junior keeper. Had a huge game and a huge penalty stop in that 3-0 win the Mustangs had a couple weeks ago. Not just the penalty stop, Jamie, the rebound save too was amazing.
Oh, the double save was spectacular, and that was at such a crucial point in the matchup as well. Ultimately, it was SMU weathering a bit of a storm at the time, and Dominguez stepped up, and that's why we're playing here today. It was a massive save, a massive moment in the game.
Sparks striding forward. Pinozo able to lay it off to Jalen Mitchell. Got Chambron Pino in the back post. Escorcia in the middle. Pinozo can't get good purchase on it. Still pinging around. Andy Kruger able to get a little more head on. There is a Wake Forest player down in the box holding his head. So Alexic does stop play as Colin Thomas, the grad student from Georgia, trying to shake it off early.
These 1v1
this was kind of
battles.
Something that happened early in the game, Jamie. The last game they played, SMU applied pressure early in that game.
That's exactly a carbon copy of what the first 5-10 minutes of the match looked like. SMU getting into those wide areas. That's where they find a lot of success. And Bobby Muse, when we spoke to him, he made sure to say that we have to do much better in 1v1 situations. That's where SMU are borderline elite and one of the best teams in the entirety of the conference in those wide areas getting crosses off.
Now wide to Travis Smith Jr. getting the game winner in their first round game of the tournament. Prince Ampansa picked up 2 yellows in the first meeting between these two teams, which obviously equals a red card late in that game. They were suspended the following match, but their captain back in the middle there, 27 in gold. Danny Kruger, freshman, stepping forward. Playing the channel, brought down by Bassett Umar, the transfer from Dayton. Struggling a bit. Long throw, looking for Julian Kennedy. Can't connect. Jamie, early on, these games, what are the nerves like as you're playing? And you've played in this ACC tournament, you know how tough it is. What are the nerves like early in these type of games?
The nerves are high, without a doubt. And you can't really compare the tournament to a regular season. You understand that the regular season is going to have ebbs and flows, and you're going to understand that some days you're just not going to put your best performance, but today has to be your best performance or close to it. There's no such thing as an easy game in the ACC, but in the ACC tournament, the margins get even finer. And so what I'm looking for from Wake Forest, Bobby Muse said these exact words. He wanted his team to play aggressively intelligent. Dallin, what does that mean? I'm glad you asked. It means he wants them to play free, but within the structure and the identity. Right, and
over the top might be a chance. The flag stayed down. Umar could not control it, though. Continue, Jamie.
That's a perfect example, right? Have that confidence to be able to try that line-splitting pass that breaks both the midfield 4 and the back 4 for SMU, or the back 3, excuse me. Be able to have the confidence and belief that you can execute that pass. That's that fine line of confidence and arrogance, and that pass was confident and nearly gave Wake the lead.
Escorcia on the ball now, junior from Bogota. Trace Alfin, one of the best keepers in the business. Second team All-ACC. Anchors things in the back for the Demon Deeks. Bo Cummins gets the start. Number 2 out wide right there's Umar, trying to find the feet of Julian Kennedy. Nikola Djordjevic up to Mitchell. Djordjevic still on it now. Being pressed by the freshman Dylan Borso. Somehow finds his feet to Pinozo, and he's able to get ahead of steam going. Chambron Pino busting it down the left wing. Finds Escorcia. Out to Mitchell. Make him work, but he will get there. Mitchell trying to dig out across and wins a corner. First of the match for the Mustangs.
Instantly noticeable how SMU want to get in those isolated 1v1 areas out wide. I thought earlier there could have been a ball played out to Chambron Pino and get him going 1v1. Instead it was looked off. You go the other way, Mitchell has just as much ability, but that was really well defended in the end. And Travis Smith Jr. to make sure to stay step for step. Don't bite on the step over. Keep your hips in line. Watch the ball instead of the tricks, and this is well defended. Now they have to defend the set piece.
Chambron Pino has 7 goal contributions from set pieces. He's got deadly left foot service, whips it in, headed up in the air. Alphen calls the ball and hauls it in. Trace looking to unleash Julian Kennedy. A little too much on it. Jamie, when you're playing a team in a rematch situation, how much does that previous result factor either into game planning or to players' mindsets as they take the field?
You'd be naive to say that it doesn't play any part whatsoever. But having said that, the routine is now there. Wake Forest having to travel to SMU for the first time in league play 16 days ago, playing in a new stadium, new facility. Everything about it is new, and you don't really have an expectation. And the score line obviously doesn't go your way, but then you get a chance to come and do it again, and you're a bit more motivated to try to take your opportunities. SMU did a poor job, I thought, of closing out the game up until Pinoso's late goal in the 80th minute. Wake was in this match. They'll feel as though if they can take an early opportunity, that matchup 16 days ago, well, it could be flipped on its head. The game's first goal is going to be so important this afternoon.
You mentioned earlier talking about, Wake Forest being carefree and playing aggressive and loose. One thing that helps them is their resume has really improved. When we were here last time at the SMU game, they needed some key wins. They got a big win against NC State, which helped their RPI. They're currently sitting at 29, so they're in a better situation. 26, excuse me. So that helps contribute to being loose. They don't feel as much pressure, but you obviously want to win this game and get yourself to the ACC tournament semifinal. Umar out wide. Smith Jr. hits the deck, gets up quick. Finds Borso. Excuse me, that's Perez. Danny Kruger, freshman. Thomas's pass is loose. Cesar Rubalcaba. To Alex Salvo, over to Lamar Bynum. Ping to Djordjevic. Bynum to Salvo. And Umar goes down hard. Sparks got a piece of him. Wake play quick. Colin Thomas now tries to drive it in, deflected by the second-team All-American last year, Sparks. Kruger. Bo Cummins wins the foot race. Thanks, guys. Welcome to Dallas. Game 2 of the ACC Men's Soccer Championship quarterfinal Sunday. All 4 games on the ACC network here. Congratulations to Clemson. Avenged that earlier season loss to Stanford. Alongside Jamie Watson, former pro and North Carolina Tar Heel. I'm Dallin Cuff. Take a SMU right now and Wake Forest, the 4-5 matchup. These two teams played just 16 days ago on this very field here in Dallas, where Wake fell 3-0, but the scoreline wasn't exactly indicative of how that game played out. Early on, it's been a tight affair so far, Jamie. How, if at all, does that matchup a couple weeks ago play into what we've seen so far today?
Don, you're absolutely right. That scoreline at the top, 3-0, was not indicative of how that match played out at all. It was 1-0 SMU until it got late into the second half, and Wake Forest, they could have scored in a transitional moment. They could have scored from a penalty kick. That was brilliantly saved by Dominguez. And then from there, SMU, they go and get their second and their third. So as you alluded to, 16 days ago, that was a dress rehearsal for today. It's also the reason why we're here today and instead of at Spry Stadium. When you talk about the first 10 minutes of this match, instantly a big noticeable difference. Wake Forest, they are having a higher starting position when they get possession. They're also starting higher with their press. Maybe they were a bit naive in that matchup 16 days ago with the deeper line and a less high line of confrontation to go and defend. But so far, so good for Bobby Muse's side. 10 minutes in, we've seen less 1v1 situations for SMU than we saw 16 days ago through the first 10, 12 minutes of that match. That's something to keep an eye on, and two players in particular. For SMU, Bailey Sparks right there in the middle defending. He'll look to try to get forward. And for Wake Forest, their center back, Prince Mpansa, he's a player, number 27 in goal to keep an eye on. He's going to have to organize the back four for Wake Forest tonight if Wake want to come and flip that score line around and advance on to the ACC tournament.
Yeah, Prince Mpansa, the center back, the captain, wants a better performance than he had in the first game against these two teams. He got a second yellow in the 87th minute and got an early shower and a red card and a suspension the next game as the ball goes back to Trace Alfin, second team All-ACC goaltender last year. When you look at this Wake team, though, when we were here a couple weeks ago, they were really worried about their RPI and worried about their situation as it relates to getting into the NCAA tournament. This Wake team has gone 13 straight years. That is the longest in the ACC. These guys want to, create their own history, but also don't want to be the team to lose that streak. So their numbers have improved in recent weeks. Beating NC State on the road has helped. Obviously, surviving their opening round matchup against Syracuse was huge. Now they come up with an RPI of 26 and feeling good that they can go through and win that as it's Nikola Alexic and will stop play. But Bobby Muse's crew, if they don't win this game, they still feel good getting into the tournament. If they win this game, they are gravy, maybe looking at a top 16 seed if they keep building. Do you agree with that assessment, Jamie?
Absolutely. Spot on. That strength of schedule, too, really plays into that belief as to why they should be in the tournament, regardless of the score line today. They have a motto. They like to create new history every year. I think the history will repeat itself when the committee gets together to be able to figure out which teams will be in an at-large bid. That's with the assumption that Wake doesn't go on to win the tournament, get the automatic bid. But if they don't, and if they are up for consideration, I think that they're firmly in with their performance this year, and especially as of late.
Dylan Borso getting forward. He had an assist in the game winner against Syracuse. This time plays it in, headed down by Cesar Rubalcaba, the center back, and Daniel Scorsia tripped up.
Scorsia has looked off Pino twice. When you have a creative player like Chambron Pino, you need to get him the ball early. Because when you do, it allows Chambron Pino to get on the ball, create a couple of passes, get the ball at his feet, feel as though he's in the flow of the game. The longer you let your dynamic, creative players go without the ball, the deeper they go to try to find it. And that's not good for SMU. They want Chambron Pino as high up the field with the ball as often as possible. If I'm Scorsia, I'm making sure to get him the ball as soon as possible the next time it's on.
That's number 7 in blue toward the bottom of your screen about a second ago. I'll pop back in here momentarily as Djordjevic gets the foul. There's Chambron Pino. He had a goal and assist in that first game against Wake and a beautiful free kick goal to make it 3-0. But when you look at this team overall, Jamie, since they lost to Duke back in September, back on September 7th, they've been 8-1-3, this Mustangs crew. And this is their first year in the ACC, and Kevin Hudson's team has not only, obviously they've been a great program for years, but proving they can play in this league and succeed in this league exceedingly has been a pretty impressive inaugural campaign.
We had a really good chat with Kevin Hudson, didn't we, this week in the build-up to the match? And we asked the question, pretty poignant, is this what you expected in your first year in the ACC? I think Kevin Hudson was pretty honest with us and said he didn't know what to expect. And growing up in Dallas, I understood how good SMU always were, but I was in the Conference USA at the time. Then it was at the American Athletic Conference. You really get tested when you come to the ACC, though. And Kevin Hudson's side, they withstood and they were battle tested throughout the year.
Well, Julian Kennedy found the ball at his feet and then hit it in the stratosphere.
Well, now they're getting tested.
Late over there.
Yeah, they're getting tested in the ACC tournament a little bit more so than what they were in the regular season against Wake Forest. Well, this is when things get tightened up here, and that was a really good battle between the Wake Forest forward Kennedy and making sure that he can be able to be patient as soon as that ball bounces. That's always advantageous for the forward. SMU need to do a better job of winning the initial ball and being able to clear the lines when they're under pressure. Just to wrap that point up with SMU, they proved that they belonged in this league. And I think now as they get to this point in the tournament and then hopefully be beyond in the NCAA tournament, which I do firmly believe that they will be in as well, SMU have a chance to go and really cement themselves as a powerhouse within the ACC, and it's only going to strengthen this conference overall to welcome in another good team and a team that can do it not only at home but also on the road.
Yeah, SMU's been tough to beat. Only 2 losses on the campaign, and one of those to the Pitt, the #1 team in the RPI, as Dylan Borso comes forward. Cooper Flax on it, tries a little through ball, doesn't come off, and Martin Dominguez, who's taken the gloves through the early part of the season, now making his 13th straight start, had a huge game in the win over Wake Forest. He had a penalty save and then a rebound save on that man, Julian Kennedy, who was just closest to him there, 21 in gold. Helped preserve that win. Distribution pull out of the back goes to Bo Cummins. Out wide to Bassett Umar. Transfer from Dayton, former Rookie of the Year in the A-10. He's had a very good year for the Deeks.
What a stark contrast this is, though, Dallin. The starting positions for Wake Forest so much higher, and SMU so much more defensive.
Borso trying to play it out wide to Smith. He does. He cuts it back. Back post. Wait, flag is up. Well, Colin Thomas was there. Aaron Header anyway, but your point is well taken. This Wake Forest team was on their heels from the jump against the Mustangs here 16 days ago. Not right now.
You were here on that one Friday night with Devin Kerr, and both of you two did a wonderful job just pointing out throughout the match how SMU were the team that was getting into those wide areas. SMU was the team that was getting into the final third more often, especially in the early parts of the match. Boy, what a 180 this has been so far inside the first 17, 18 minutes of this match. And SMU, they're going to have to adjust. They need to get on the ball a bit more, and they need to be able to solve some problems. What I would like to see Kevin Hudson's side do is exactly what Dominguez is saying. They're under pressure. No need to play it into pressure. Maybe go long. Maybe skip out the Wake Forest midfield, turn them around, and what that will do, it'll get Wake Forest to think twice about starting so high, and it may create some more space in the middle of the park for SMU to play.
They were able to play out. Escorcia fell, able to keep it in possession, but now turns it over. You mentioned a warm day a couple weeks ago. Yes, first of all, I was ill-prepared as I was pouring sweat in the open press box at Washburn Soccer and Track Stadium. Secondly, the coach, I mean, Bobby Muse is not out here making excuses, but it was 9 degrees, and that was an advantage that SMU plays and it trains in it all the time. I don't know, the Wake guys were a little, taken aback by that. SMU also, Jamie, was coming off a 5-1 shellacking. It was their only loss in September at the hands of NC State. They came shot out of a gun, losing by 4 goals, playing in senior night. They were ready to roll. This game has been, as we've said already, very different in terms of how both teams have started.
You're absolutely right. There was a lot of measurables for SMU and a little bit of adversity that they had faced, and they got the response that they needed in that match against Wake Forest. I'm seeing some adversity right now for SMU that they're going to have to face head on right now, because Wake Forest is the more aggressive team. They are playing aggressively intelligent like Bobby Muse wanted them. They're playing with that confidence to go and press, not that arrogance to go recklessly with it. The freedom to be able to stay within the structure, but also have some individual players like you're seeing Thomas go and press. Now that's everybody going to press. SMU finally are able to break it a little bit, but this is a good start from Wake Forest. SMU, they're going to have to absorb some punches, and they're going to have to try to start throwing some punches eventually at Wake Forest's way.
Out to the feet of Lamar Bynum, a senior, transfer from Colorado State Pueblo, D2 school. That's back to Bynum again. And this press has been a challenge for SMU, to say the least, to Try to go up top now to Penozo, see if they can win a second ball, and they can. Mitchell out to score. See, he's got Djordjevic out wide, plays Djordjevic. He's dangerous out there. 1v1 situations, he is tough. Travis Smith Jr. defending, Borso coming to help. It's end line, clips it. Penozo's there, heads it down, just over the bar. Prince Impansa, the captain, celebrates like he scored a goal because he just saved one.
Oh boy, did he just save a goal. This should have been a tap in for Jalen Mitchell, but instead, keep an eye on Impansa. He's at the near post. Now he's got to track back. If he is a half step late, it's 1-0 SMU. Impansa is beyond the near post. Now he's going to come back. He's 2 steps behind Mitchell, but also does it exactly as he should do. He's not going to score from that position. Heading it back across. Those are the fine margins in the plays that Prince Impansa just made that could see Wake Forest be able to weather this storm.
Djordjevic to take the corner. Headed out, but only to Mitchell. He might be able to get a shot off. Lays it back toward the spot. Flicked on by Penozo. Out by Impansa. Owen Zarnik, the center back, up forward, tries to control it. Bodies are flying. We've got 2 SMU players down in the heat, but they're playing on. Bo Cummins, the right back, is up there. He's got Kennedy in the middle. Plays Kennedy. What a ball! Lays it on a platter! And a save by Dominguez! And the flag was up, never mind, but what a ball. And unfortunately for Wake Forest, it is 0-0.
Oh, what a breakout. This started at the other end. And as the fouls start happening, or non-fouls, because our referee, Alexeev, lets them keep playing, now there's the unbalance. Bo Cummins with an inch-perfect pass, and it just straight into an offside position. That hits the outside of the post on the way through, and my goodness, how quickly we go from one end to the other. And that is as close as you can possibly get. That's the transitional moment, though, that Wake Forest, they didn't take that in the first match. This is another one that they don't take. You've got to be able to capitalize on the opportunities because SMU is so stout and compact defensively. When they get unbalanced like that, those are the rare moments, Dallin, that Wake Forest, they have to capitalize on, and they let SMU off the hook.
Well, you've got Cesar Rubalcaba down, your center back grad student, transfer from Cal Poly Pomona. Another D2 transfer that has come here and been very impactful at this D1 level. Brock Pope did not get the start. Kevin Hudson will tell you he's got 4 center backs, starting center backs for 3 spots. And Pope was the one that was left out today for Lamar Bynum. We'll see if they need to make a switch. Take a look at Rubalcaba.
Just looked like as he was sliding, there was maybe that landing foot caught some cleats on the back of the leg, and you hope that it's a situation where it's a player getting stepped on instead of getting caught in the turf or anything like that. That would be a big loss for the back line, the continuity for the back 3 for the Mustangs. And Rubalcaba, and there's that step on the foot. It does look like Perez accidentally steps on Rubalcaba. It doesn't feel good, I'll tell you that much, but those are normally the type of ones that, while they hurt for just a couple of moments and may continue on for the next couple of days after this one, that's much better to see than something else that was non-contact related.
So Rubalcaba did deal with injuries earlier this year. He missed 6 games. He returned, missed basically most of September into October, returned the second week of October against Stanford, which was a draw here in Dallas. You see him trying to limber up. Jamie, you mentioned it in the run of play that Nikola Alexic let them play on because there were some guys down, but there was advantage play. There were not fouls necessarily on the play. It seemed like it was good, well officiated, although SMU was missing some key guys getting back.
Yeah, I think that was right. I think our referee, Alexic, did a really good job in that moment of just letting him continue to play. Didn't stop the advantage for Wake. There's no way in that moment you could have called that foul on Perez. It was incidental contact on Rubalcaba. So yeah, I think our referee's got it absolutely right. And through the first 20+ minutes or so, everything's been so far so good. Slight contrast to when these two teams met 16 days ago, huh, Dallin?
Yeah, that really is. We've said it a couple times. It is true. what also is true is Wednesday, we got women's college basketball here on ACC Network. Number 18, Maryland taking on Syracuse with the JMA Wireless Dome, 7 Eastern on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Lady Terps, talented squad, but going on the road should be a very good game up in Central New York Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern. All right, Dominguez gets ready to put it back into play. And if you're just joining us now, this is the second of 4 quarterfinals in the ACC Men's Soccer Championship today here on ACC Network. Game 1 went final. Stanford and Clemson. Clemson winning 1-0 at historic Riggs Field, avenging what a 3-2 loss they had to Stanford to open up the season, open up ACC play, I should say, back in early September. Clemson moves on to the semifinals to take on the winner of Duke and Cal. Cal really the only left Cinderella here in the mix. If they win this whole thing, they're getting their automatic bid to the tournament. But if they keep winning games, Jamie, they may get a good enough RPI here to sneak into the tournament in their first year in ACC play.
Yeah, make sure you stick around to halftime. We'll have a good discussion about the teams in, maybe the teams out, who's on the bubble, who we believe will find their way into the tournament. But Leonard Griffin, the coach at Cal, has done a magnificent job so far this season. That is a tough, brutal schedule, making that travel week in and week out to be able to compete in the ACC. But Cal have done really, really well in their inaugural year, much like SMU have. And SMU proving that they belong. A lot of the newcomers are only making this conference, which is already the best and toughest in men's college soccer, making it even better and even more difficult league.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Also, phenomenal halftime tease for you. You're a true professional in television. Well done.
Following your lead.
Studying Mike Greenberg. Hold on. Travis Smith coming forward, and Dominguez corrals.
Good foray forward here from Travis Smith Jr. Just catching Salvo flat-footed. Very rarely do we say that. Alex Salvo, sort of the unsung hero for this Mustang side, playing a number 6 role from Madrid. Comes out of the very vaulted Coppell High School Cowboys program. A little thing or two about that one, Dallin. And Salvo has been the player that has been the glue between the back 3 for the Mustangs and the front 3 for the Mustangs this season. And right on cue, there he is, winning it back. It's little things like that that don't show up in the box score, but are so important to this Mustang side.
Salvo started every game this campaign, 18 for 18, as well as Bailey Sparks in the middle of that pitch. 2 of the first names on the team sheet for Kevin Hudson. Danny Kruger, the freshman, trying to ping it over the top, and it does get to Dylan Borso. It goes out off of Georgievich first, pardon me.
Down, as you mentioned, Georgievich, look at his starting position. It is so deep. And you also have Chambron Pino, so deep. Yet there's still some space in there for Flax to try to find behind Salvo, behind Sparks. War of attrition right now, the happier of the 2 managers, without a doubt, is Bobby Muse for Wake Forest. Just the starting positions alone will tell you where this match is being played, and Wake Forest tactically have been far superior with their positioning and where they start their attacks than SMU have been.
Perez out to Travis Smith Jr. Kruger had a tough game here when they played before. He committed the penalty that gave Bailey Sparks the opening goal, and this won't get to Cummins. Thomas keeps it to Flax. Kruger goes by an SMU player who went to the deck. Now Julian Kennedy, that's not shoulder to shoulder, says the near side official, Chris Gordon.
I think Danny Kruger's hoping that we give a slow-mo of that. He absolutely set down the SMU defender. And, well, that's also an instance in which Bynum gets set down, this time of the illegal variety. But it's Wake Forest right now that are slowly gaining some ground. And SMU, they're bending right now. They're not breaking. There haven't really been any clear-cut opportunities in behind the back 3 for SMU, apart from that really, really close counterattack that was just fractionally offside. And this is a bright start for the visitors, and exactly the opposite of what we saw when these 2 teams met 16 days ago.
Lamar Bynum struggling a little bit, and Dominguez waves him forward, and they're going to try to play this long, it seems. They're already without SMU Noah Irvin, who injured his shoulder, had surgery during their game against Boston College. So they're down a man on an SMU team that's not truly that deep as Bobby Muse gets to ready his first substitutions of this match. Georgievich on the turnover. He's got Mitchell ahead. Couldn't complete the pass. Back to Bynum. Chambron Pino spins after touching it onto Pinozo. Sparks commits the foul. Bobby Muse ready to make his changes. Again, new sub rules this year in college soccer. 6 moments to substitute in live play. If you leave in the second half, you can no longer re-enter. So Julian Kennedy will walk to the bench, as will Travis Smith Jr. Monty Thomas comes on, the freshman from Louisville. And Jeffrey White's in there as well, 13 in gold. There's Jeffrey White, his first inclusion, pass wayward. And Mitchell goes down hard.
Just some questions being asked right now. Was there anything more as far as a booking for Perez on that play? I think our referee was given the benefit of the doubt correctly in that moment. Perez misplayed it, but there was no promising attack really developing from that. So I think that was the right decision, even though there were some small protests.
Ryan Belal checked in the match too. Who's on top of the right of your screen right now. Belal, the freshman from Baltimore, in his 14th appearance on the season. Bill Cummins lets it go to Kruger, but Alexic will come back and say it's supposed to be throw-in before the ball went out.
Stop, young guys. Well done. You all. When you're ready.
Talk about the depth of SMU, but I mean, Wake Forest, they are a mash unit right now. And Cooper Flax carrying an injury. A couple of the guys are carrying injuries and playing. But they're missing guys that would be potentially all-league players. I mean, Bobby Niang was an all-league player. Sidney Paris, an all-league player in the Patriot League at Navy before he transferred. A very impactful player at his time at Wake. And you can keep going. The level of guys they've missed and the injuries they've had in this team, and still where Bobby Muse has these guys, is a true testament to how he's managed this team and what this team has done this year.
I mean, that 6-a-side could be one of the best 6-a-sides in the conference that is out with injuries. And so what Bobby Muse has had to do is rely on the collective effort. And it's a team that is the sum of its parts right now. Maybe apart from Cooper Flax, who can be a game changer. You look at this lineup and there's really not a lot of players on Wake Forest that you go, we have to be able to mark that player out or they will hurt us inevitably. So this group is having to do it together, and I think without the lack of a number 9, which is the same argument you can have for SMU, it's going to be a methodical build-up in these team-type goals instead of these individual efforts. But I do think that's why Wake Forest are doing better today, because they have bought into this identity that they've had to adapt to without relying on just 1 or 2 individuals, but everybody from the group having to give 10, 15% more in their effort to be able to make for a sort of this lack of individual brilliance that the team doesn't have at this point in time.
Yeah, we showed you the games these guys have been able to play this year, which is not that many, but career games, all those guys have played 30, 40, 50, 60 games. Again, all league players. Pierce Battison transferred in, supposed to be a key guy for them as well. Has not played a single game. Liam O'Gara, all freshman team last year. As SMU comes forward, Bynum gets the cross off. But they found a way to succeed still. Belal tries to bring it down, 1v2. And he cannot maintain possession. Sub coming out for SMU. We've got Milton Lopez, the sophomore from Irving, Texas, comes in. He started a lot throughout the course of the season. But Enzo Pinozo jogs off and really carved that out the last 3 games, taking over the starting 9 spot for Lopez. As we mentioned, guys have struggled to score. Neve Berkovitz, it's a guy that was the American Athletic Conference Freshman of the Year last year, Rookie of the Year, I should say, coming in having a campaign you'd think he'd be able to produce the same level he did last year, where he had 6 goals and was really impactful, but has struggled somewhat, Jamie, to really find form in the last 3 games. Only played a total of 46 minutes after starting the first 12 games of the season once he was back from injury.
Yeah, Berkovitz just hasn't had that same impact. And I remember being on this field last year in the final that they were in against UNC Charlotte in the AAC before they joined the ACC. And Berkovitz was an important figure to that team. And he was a player that consistently contributed. That was always going to be the challenge for the team and the collective as they join the much more difficult Atlantic Coast Conference. Can those players match that new level? And I think Berkovitz is finding his way into it. Now it's going to be, can you put together longer spurts that become more consistent, that gets that trust of Kevin Hudson in these key moments?
Some more subs coming in. Ryan Fessler joining things, number 20. Coming in the middle, the senior from Charlotte. Spent time in the Sporting Kansas City Academy, though. And then Dylan Borso makes well his way. Long throw. They're always going to do this, the Mustangs are, and they can cause some problems with it. Good ball played in by Ruvalcaba, headed out by Impanza. Ball pinging around. Falls to Sparks. He tries to get the shot off on the turn. Spilled by Alfin. Corral.
Not the cleanest collection from Alfin, but I'm pleased with the way that Wake Forest is defending against these set pieces, whether that's corner kicks, free kicks, long throws. Wake Forest are doing a good job so far. You can tell it's a real point of emphasis that has improved from the last time these two teams met, where it seemingly felt like every one of those set pieces inside the first 20-25 minutes of the match, you were just holding your breath if you're a Demon Deacon fan.
Nico Rabiot also checked in the match. The sophomore from Schenectady, New York, part of the Red Bull Academy. Umar on the ball. Back to Fessler. Tries to scoop it into the path of Imani Thomas. Can't get there. Berkovitz touches it on to Scorsia. Bynum. Ruvalcaba. Matthew Dominguez, transfer from Oregon State, floats it to Bynum. Chambron Pino have not said his name much today, which is not good for the Mustangs, but now he's on the ball. Wait, pull it back. Foul on Lopez before that. How do they get Chambron Pino more involved in this game? Because he is a critical guy to their success going forward.
Do you remember about 10 minutes into the match, we made the comment that Daniel Escorsia looked off Pino in 2 different instances to be able to play it to Chambron Pino. And since then, Chambron Pino has not been nearly involved enough if you're an SMU Mustang fan. Those early moments, Chambron Pino thrive in those moments. You get him on the ball, you get a confidence going, belief that he's able to go and replicate the type of performance he had when these two teams met 2 weekends ago. Yet when you look him off, you don't play him the ball. Now he's doing more defending than he is attacking. And now the pressure from Wake is causing all sorts of problems for SMU.
Chested down off the long throw. I'd love to see that if you're Kevin Hudson, that the opposing team is able to get a chest on a long throw, but it goes out harmlessly.
Right now this match is being played in between the 18-yard boxes and centrally. That is beneficial for Wake. If SMU want to be able to open this matchup, they need those 2 players, Sparks and Chambron Pino, to be able to get on the ball more often. That is a staggering amount of influence that this team has in production. Yet we've only seen Sparks receive the ball inside of his own half. We've seen Chambron Pino spend more time defending inside his own half. SMU need to do this, turn him around, try to get him behind. Now collectively the whole group moves up and the Mustangs can try to go and win this ball back 30-40 yards higher than where they're starting currently.
Kruger back to Alphen. Kruger, the freshman, born in Frankfurt, Germany, but grew up in the Philadelphia Union Academy. Roll to the Umar.
Look at the difference right now. Dallin, right immediately, it's individuals going in press for SMU, whereas Wake is doing it collectively.
Yeah, Monty Thomas now gliding forward. Flax on it. Ponsa fires it at Umar. Kruger's able to chase it down. Skip past Lopez and find Flax.
Yeah, just get past one defender. That was it. That is a visual cue, Dallin. When that pass gets played wayward and it looks like it's going over, why in the world is it only Lopez that's going to press? If I'm Kevin Hudson, I am screaming at the rest of the 9 players behind Lopez as to why we're not going and putting the effort in. Look, on a day when things are not necessarily going well, one thing the other team can not stop you from doing is running, is pressing, is putting that effort in. Right now, SMU are just too reactive. There's not enough proactive mindset.
Chambron Pino down in the heap again. Senior from Frankfurt, Germany. Grew up primarily in the Eintracht Frankfurt Academy, which is usually, has been a Champions League team majority of the last 10 years, but he had a couple of academies on his way. He was a club captain, had multiple stops. Loads on. Do you think he reached the level? Yeah, Jamie, do you think he'll be playing at the next level?
I think Chambron Pino, and I do believe, has enough quality to be able to play at the next level. Absolutely. That individual creativeness, that left foot that he has, the way he just receives it, and instantly there's that backhanded compliment where teams don't dive in on you. If you're a type of player that other teams just say, okay, I'd rather give you a step than to dive in, that goes to show that the other team really believes that you have the creative capability to beat them. And now for Wake Forest, it's, can you quickly get a secondary help over to make Chambron Pino look as though the 1v1 opportunity is not on, so he reverts to passing it instead of dribbling 1v1.
Out wide of Djordjevic, who is dangerous on the dribble but dispossessed. Salvo skips in to keep possession for the Mustangs. Good ball, nobody attacking it though. Chambron Pino gets there, can't control it. SMU gonna exercise a few more subs. Ryan Clanton Pimentel, the freshman from Leander, Texas, comes in the match. His 13th appearance on the campaign, replacing Nikola Djordjevic. Ruvalcaba pops it out to Clanton Pimentel.
Now notice, there's been a lot of energy expended from Wake Forest, and SMU have withstood that. Now continue to pass the ball and make the ball do the work. That's how they're getting these better starting positions late on in the first half. That is a fantastic tackle to win it back from Mpansa.
Mpansa, his 84th game in a Demon Deeks jersey, the grad student from the Bronx.
Is that all? Gosh, 84 games, huh?
He's become a staple back there. He is their captain. He is their leader, without a doubt. And Jeffrey White's won 2 at Cummins. Yeah. Then Pimentel comes forward. Bynum. Chambron Pino. Ooh. Crafty. Chambron Pino again. SMU starting to have a little more influence. Sparks' ball wayward though.
Much better from SMU in the last 2-3 minutes though. And now you're starting to see a big tilt in the field in the starting positions. And I don't know if that was necessarily by design from the Mustangs, but they've done well and they handled the adversity that Wake Forest were throwing. And now all of a sudden, within the last 5 minutes, it looks as though Wake is being tested right now with their mental fortitude to be able to see this half out as SMU start to put their foot down on the gas pedal a little bit more. See if they can generate something that is of any real substance, though, to threaten Wake Forest before the half.
Bynum with the throw. And Ponce coming forward. Out to Thomas. Tries to play the channel to Rabiu. And it'll go out for a throw. We'll tell you about some hoops coming up Friday night here on the ACC Network. Doubleheader beginning at 6 o'clock Eastern. In-state, Sunshine State rivalry. Florida taking on Florida State. Number 21 ranked Gators against the Noles and Leonard Hamilton, followed by number 9 North Carolina, coming off that tough road loss to Kansas, taking on American at the Dean Smith Center. And next Saturday at noon, Wofford faces number 7 Duke. If you have not seen Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, the other 2 great freshmen for Duke, you definitely want to check that out Saturday at noon as the Terriers come to the Blue Devils. Ponce under pressure. Lopez kind of vacated it, allowed him to walk forward. Bill Cummins is down hard, limping to the bottom of your screen there. Chambron Pino fouled in the play.
Good battle between those two right now. And right now, Bill Cummins has gotten the best of Chambron Pino, but nonetheless, Chambron Pino, is one of those players that he can be absolutely quiet for 44 of the 45 minutes, and then he can create a moment of brilliance for himself or for others. So Cummins has to make sure that even though there's roughly 2 minutes or so left in this half, he's got to make sure to continue to be as tight defensively with Chambron Pino. That's been a big key to Wake's success so far this afternoon.
Dominguez pass hot at Bynum. Kevin Hudson just throwing his arms out there. What was that?
Well, noticeable difference just a moment ago when SMU had Lopez all pressed by himself. Nothing happened of it. Wake broke it. Well, that bad pass happens. The collective front 6 for Wake all go and press, and now all of a sudden the buildup has happened 34 yards deep, 30 to 40 yards deeper, and like it may fizzle out to not much of anything before the half ends from SMU. But having said that, those little moments right now where Wake is doing better than SMU.
Scorsese out to Chambron Pino. Under a minute to play in the first half. He's got a dangerous left foot, floats it in, and Ponce there again, headed down. Body's down, and the shot did not threaten.
Well, just like that, SMU, they do a good job of finally getting it to Chambron Pino in space, and it takes a really good bit of defending from Prince Ponce, the captain for Wake Forest. He does the part where he gets ahead of it, and he's able to turn his hips and his shoulders to head it back away from goal. If Prince Ponce is lazy with his defending, he's now running back full speed towards his own goal. And that is a much more difficult task to head that away. It's those little fine margins that is what makes Prince and Ponce a great player as opposed to a good player.
Under 5 seconds to play here in the first half. The second of 4 ACC men's soccer quarterfinal matchups will go to break at 0-0 here in Dallas, Texas.
Fair half. I think that is a fair indicative score line to what we saw play out. Neither team really truly threatening either goalkeeper. Both Dominguez and Alfin doing exactly what they were needed to when called upon. A few half chances, if you will, from those wide areas, but nonetheless, this match is really being played in the center of the park. And if you're a soccer purist, you look at this and you go, these are two teams that want to play the game in the right way. And right now, it's going back and forth, and there's very little to separate the two teams.
With that said, let's bring in Mustangs head coach Kevin Hudson. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Quarterfinal matchups here on ACC Network for the ACC Men's Soccer Championship. SMU in their inaugural campaign in this league is, needless to say, acquitted themselves quite well. They end up being the 4th seed, host not 1 but 2 games here in the ACC tournament. Could be a 3rd if UVA, if they advance and UVA knocks off Pitt. Come up at 8 o'clock tonight. Pitt UVA also a rematch where the Cavaliers lost 4-1 on the road at Pitt just 3 weeks ago. Nikola Alexic is the center official, and off we go. And slow to get up was Amani Thomas. Freshman didn't start the game, but now starting the second half. Was injured early in the season. Started the last 7 games prior to today, as he's still holding his side. Owen Zarnick for the throw, the junior from Redondo Beach, California. Actually gave it off to Djordjevic. Ryan Fessler brings it down, back to Danny Kruger. Jamie, you heard Kevin Hudson in our interview though say wants to play it faster, thinks there's space to play. What makes a team and players not play as fast as they should be playing?
That's a good question. Right now, it's the pressure from Wake Forest. One thing that pressure does is it makes you play faster than you want to. So that little bit of extra care that you can put on a pass to make sure you're slipping it in where the player wants to receive it on whichever their preferred foot is. You're not quite able to do that when you're getting pressed and that window closes. That was what Wake Forest did to SMU, and SMU have to combat that. Although Kevin Hudson does believe they still can be able to play through that Wake Forest press. We haven't seen it yet amount to anything offensively. Right now, if this was a big game of possession, you'd say both teams are doing well. But the name of the game is getting to the final third and scoring and executing in the final third. So far, both teams have really canceled each other out. And I think it's a big step forward for Wake Forest and a slight step back from SMU from what we saw when these two teams met 2 weekends ago.
And these are both teams that can struggle to score a little, but you saw the lack of shot generation has been a problem today here, to say the least. But SMU comes in 1.71 goals per game, tied for 10th in the ACC. Wake Forest, 1.33. That's tied for last in the ACC. Sorry, that is last in the ACC. Now, both these teams have played better in the last month. We mentioned their records. Wake is 7-1-2 since losing to Clemson in early October. SMU is 8-1-3 since losing to Pitt back in early September. So both teams tough to beat, and they've figured out how to score some goals when necessary without having people in that striker position, your 7, 8, 9, 10 goal season guys. Djordjevic gets end line and goes out for a corner.
You're absolutely right, Dallin. That's such a big trait to have, somebody that you can rely on to create a moment of brilliance. And I know there's really not that in the number 9 role. The two biggest ones are Chambron Pino and Bailey Sparks. Yet we've hardly said those two names all afternoon. But keep in mind, there was a goal in the matchup that was able to see SMU win in their opening round matchup of the ACC tournament from this very position, the 54th minute. It was a near post run from Bailey Sparks. He got on the end of it. It was a brilliant header from Chambron Pino. Keep an eye on Sparks running to the near post, number 10.
Chambron Pino to take his back post. Alfin flails out, can't get it. Mitchell comes down, kind of Side foots it. Offense distribution, not what he was looking for. Scorsia plays it forward to Mitchell. Mitchell trying to get out of trouble. Flax plays it off his chest. Thomas pulled to the deck, no call. And Ponce to Fessler. Wake playing out of the back. And over. SMU presses a new turnover.
There's a moment there after that misplayed volley and distribution from Alphen. He was just limping just a little bit. I caught this as he caught this off the side of his foot. He just awkwardly landed, and there was a lot of force on his leg as he miskicked that, and then that unusual nature of striking caused the unusual nature of landing. Just something to keep an eye on.
Ruvalcaba usually lines at the long throw, and looks like that's what we're set up to do. Launches. Sarnak was able to get his head on it, but couldn't flick it on like he wants to. Cooper Flax just gets it out. Jeffrey White will give it a little chase. Back to Martin Dominguez. Jamie, I feel like when you play in this ACC tournament, many coaches will say it's harder to win this tournament than it is to win the NCAA tournament. Now it's the first time SMU's in it. This game doesn't feel like it has the intensity you usually feel in a tournament game. Am I wrong?
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down here, Dal, and I think you're absolutely right. These are the big moments when you have to execute, when you get forward.
Maybe it is. Shot to Flex, just wide. Late arriving Joel Torbeck, the freshman.
Oh, Torbeck does ever so well to stay over this, and that slight deflection really causes some problems and confusion. My goodness, Dominguez tracks this ever so well. And as we're talking about this match not having much intensity in the way of the final third, Wake Forest lull you into sleep with their possession and then break out so quickly with those line-splitting passes.
Torbeck, the freshman from State College, only his 9th appearance. Now he'll play the corner in, getting some minutes in a big game. Fessler leaves the throw. Well, part of that lack of intensity question, because there's no cards either. There's usually some sort of, so it's been an interesting game as Bo Cummins plays it into Rabiu.
One of the big reasons for that is the fact that these two teams really put an emphasis on playing quickly. So it's 1 and 2 touch, and the defenders are not really able to get close and put in hard tackles.
Thomas leaves it. Excuse me, Torbeck left it for Rabiu. Good verb usage by me.
He did love it and leave it at the same time.
Djordjevic controls. And Ponce's kick out to touch. And there's some bodies down here. No call from Nick Alexic. And we will play on here. Torbeck to Flax. Out wide to Rabiu. Too much on it from Flax. Let's take a look at this.
This is the buildup, and Mitchell thinks he's breaking away free. This combination of a well-timed tackle. I mean, that's a heavy collision, but it's the right call from our referee. Referee Alexic has done well today in the big decisions and those quick challenges, and maybe the intensity is starting to pick up. I think maybe the players are starting to feel that right now it's really lacked that bite so far that normally we'd see and what we expected to see coming into today. And now the intensity's picking up, the pressure's picking up. Which team is going to be able to thrive under that pressure?
Djordjevic getting forward out to Chambron Pino. He's got that deadly left foot. It's crowded out. That tackle from Fessler took out Amani Thomas. It was friendly fire. He took out 4 legs in one move.
Everybody's got to go on that tackle, huh? Talk about commitment to the challenge.
And the Wake bench coming to life. You hear the crowd now starting to come to life. 36 minutes left in an ACC tournament game. It's starting to crank up a little bit here.
There was a little kick out there from Zarnik. That's what got everybody off the bench. They felt as though as that ball was going out, Zarnik left a little something late in that challenge. But I think our referee's done well so far to keep this under control, to let the players decide how this match is going to go. I'm okay with not having any repercussions from that.
And Nick Alexic will say actually Wake won the throw there.
Maybe that was a little bit of evening itself out. No repercussions from the Zarnik kick out. Maybe that one could have gone the other way, but instead the benefit of the doubt goes to Wake Forest. I'm okay with our referee right now. I think he's done a good job of managing this.
Bill Cummins now for the throw. And their windup looks like a long throw as well. Headed down. Fessler. It's Flax. Torvik. Well done by Torvik. Forced the turnover. Freshman acquitting himself well. Grew up in the Barca Residence Academy out in Arizona. Low ball has found its way to Jeffrey White. Paris Mitchell actually in the lineup. You see 9 in gold there. Another freshman coming on along with Torvik at the half.
Dominguez a minute ago just said, let's pick it up now, boys. Have some more intensity. You could just hear right now that maybe the feeling amongst the players on the field for SMU is that right now they're not competing the same level of intensity that Wake Forest are.
Bill Cummins coming forward. Nice move by Bo. He's able to find the feet of Fessler. Paris Mitchell back to Fessler's shot deflected off of Rubalcaba.
Much like we saw Prince and Ponce in the first half have a vital intervention inside the 6-yard box. This is Rubalcaba's turn as a center back to read the play and come over, do a wonderful job of making sure to get just enough of that effort from Fessler to send it out for a corner.
Torvik to take. Not the best service, and goal kick. On that note, let's tell you about the women's college basketball coming your way on Wednesday. Number 18, Maryland, who just beat Duke, number 11 ranked Duke, going to keep it in the ACC and go on the road to the JMA Wireless Dome to take on Syracuse. Wednesday, 7 Eastern, the ACC Network. Going to be a great game between a former ACC foe and the Orange. Dominguez out to Bynum. Chambron Pino. Mitchell. And out.
Wake Forest picking up where they left off at the end of the first half with their press and their ability to make SMU start from such a deep position. And SMU staying true to who they are and their identity and really putting into practice what Kevin Hudson said to us just before halftime, for the interval, excuse me, that he thinks that there is space to play through. It is. That space is getting closed down quickly from Wake Forest, though, and SMU right now. And even when they put 4, 5, 6 passes together, they're doing it from such a deep lying position. And all they're doing is breaking the press until they get to midfield, and that's where it seemingly breaks down. Dallin, as I'm watching this progress, if I'm if you could ask me which manager I choose to be, I'd choose to be Bobby Muse right now with the pressure that my team is putting on the opposition and the intensity which they're doing it at.
Ruvalcaba with a big steal there may lead to a transitional moment, but nope, crowded out. Torvik does a good job of getting back. Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm sure anybody listening to this Mustangs thinks we're biased here against their team. The Demon Deacons have been exceedingly better than they were in the first match between these two teams, but they are controlling this game on the road, which is a very difficult thing to do in this league and to this SMU team.
Absolutely.
Escorcio's cross gets all the way through. It's not the clearance you were looking for. From Thomas to Mitchell. Dancing around. Sparks! That's the guy they wanted! That's the guy they got! The second team All-American with the flip! 1-0!
Just what this game needed. A moment of inspiration and a moment of brilliance. And who else but Bailey Sparks? SMU have been under it for most of this match. Yet it's the timeliness in the arrival of Bailey Sparks. Equal parts timeliness, equal parts luck, as this is going to fall after a poor clearance from Cummins, who's been fantastic this afternoon. And Sparks, as he strikes this, it's so terribly unfortunate for Wake Forest that this takes a wicked deflection to go beyond Trace Alfin. But when SMU have their backs up against the wall all season long, it's been Bailey Sparks who stepped up and delivered. And at home, for the first time in the quarterfinals in the ACC tournament, it's that man, Bailey Sparks, again.
And you said it, you feel for Bo Cummins. That's why this game is a cruel, cruel game. He has played well, but that was a lackadaisical clearance that he's going to want back. And the best player for it to fall on SMU's foot was Bailey Sparks. And I think even a 10 from the Russian judge on the backflip, I believe.
Absolutely.
Look at this.
10s across the board for number 10.
He ain't Simone Biles. He didn't quite stick the landing, but he did just score the goal. That's all that mattered. That's what he's really out here to do.
Look, by the way, we're commentators, not gymnastic judges here, okay? Look, I haven't seen my feet above my head like that since I got tackled late in my career. So Bailey Sparks delivering the goods, delivering the goal, delivering the backflip.
I'm out here doing round-off handspring backflips in my backyard all the time. I don't know what you're doing.
There we go. Yeah. I'll give you a 10 for it, pal.
I would pull a ham. I would pull a hammy and tear my Achilles at 110 in the same move. All right, a chance for Wake the other way to serve the box. Flax puts in a dangerous ball. Ruvalcaba heads it up. And out for corner, we'll see how the Demon Deeks respond.
Little deception on that. Torvik thought he was going to go right over it, and the casual dummy, he just actually rolled it back to Flax to be able to have him played in first time to dribble. A good little deception on that. And now with this corner kick coming from this side of the field, as the sun is setting here in Dallas, keep an eye on the sun and the tricks that he'll play on the goalkeeper Dominguez and every defender trying to read the flight of this ball.
Doesn't beat the first man, but you could see, to your great point, Jamie, Dominguez holding his glove up to try to block the sun as here looking kind of dead in it coming from that corner at this hour of the day. Floated in, Dominguez hauls it in.
That's much different of a collection for the goalkeeper when you're able to track it that way. Keep an eye on both goalkeepers, both sets of defenders, and I'm just wondering, maybe that had a little something to do with the two poor clearances from Cummins on the goal, that just coming from that side where it's shady to sunny, it's very difficult to pick it up.
Torvik, nice dummy back to Rabiu. Wow, those two connecting well. Thomas. Torvik has given really good minutes the freshman season come on at the break. It's been influential.
Middle. Backside Owen.
Cummins. It's off a low cross. Deflected. Torvik heads it down. Thomas. Amani. Rolled in. Out by Zarnik. Now, SMU is 10-1-1 this season when they score first. Wake, on the other hand, is a team that has struggled early in games, but they've 4-3-3 when the opponent scores first. So in the 10 times it's happened, they've won outright 4 times. They've gotten a point at least 7 times and only lost 3 times. So this game is far from over.
Those are staggering numbers, and it tells me a lot about the character of this Wake Forest side to not be able to stray from their principles of play and what they want to achieve. And the response right now from Wake Forest after going down will give a lot of hope to each and every player that they're starting to generate chances. And these half chances are turning into more threatening chances. This game right now is tilting in the way of Wake Forest, although the score line says 1-0 SMU. SMU are going to have to defend bravely for the next couple of minutes to weather this storm in Wake Forest. Right now, you need to continue to generate those chances with quick ball movement, quick off-the-ball movement from players, and to be able to get some dynamic movement inside the box.
Thomas Torbic lays off. Fessler in a little bit of space. Can't control it. Now you got a SMU player down on the deck. And that's Chambron Pino. Not want to see that if you're Kevin Hudson or any Mustangs fan.
It looked a little awkward. Watch the way the heavy touch from Fessler, and then there's the reach, and that is a stomp in which Fessler plants his entire weight. Watch the right foot. It's going to step right on top of the left foot of Chambron Pino, and that hurts. That is full weight right on to the top of the foot. Very little padding. That is something that does not feel great, Dallin.
He's in some pain, but we'll get up and we'll play on. Senior from Frankfurt, Germany. Again, he grew up in that Eintracht Frankfurt club primarily, which has been a Champions League club about 5 of the last 10 years. And had a couple of the club stops as well in Germany. Captain of the youth teams, comes over here, one of the most talented players in this league. And they need him on the pitch, so we'll see if he's good to go as he hobbles around a bit.
One thing I appreciate about Chambron Pino is his willingness to defend. A lot of creative players like himself. The player profile is excellent in the attacking third and all the parts where you get to score the goals and create the goals. But the knock sometimes on creative players is, are they willing to do the defensive work, the dirty work, the less glamorous parts of the game? And for Kieran Chambron Pino, he ticks that box as a player that's willing to do it, and he does it effectively as well. That is one of the key reasons why I do think that Chambron Pino will be playing at the next level when it's all said and done.
Yeah, don't argue with any of that. Now, a couple Wake substitutions. So, you know, Bastet Umar comes back in, 22 in the middle of the park. Dylan Borso, the freshman from Chicago, grew up in the Fire Academy, number 8 on the bottom of the screen, about to probably possess the ball. He rejoins the match. Ferris Mitchell and Nico Rabiu make way. And Julian Kennedy comes back in for Paris Mitchell too, actually. Sorry, pardon me. Umar came back in for Fessler. So we're getting closer to the starting lineup for Wake Forest. Deflected and can't be kept in there.
A lovely little skill check from our assistant referee on the far side there. Mohamed Dalia just took that with the outside of the right foot, brought it down.
Cool as you like. Djordjevic, heavy touch. Oh, and Ponsa falls on the deck. This may lead to something. Djordjevic now. Flax recovering back to help his co-captain. Djordjevic goes down, complains for a corner. Nikola Alexic just says, get up, we're going goal kick.
Absolutely the right decision. Djordjevic knows exactly what he's doing, so this is just unfortunate for Ponsa. The grass gives way. Now Djordjevic, as he gets picked up, that is such good defending from Flax. Djordjevic was always looking for something as he rounded the corner, got inside the box, out of the periphery. He sees where he's at, and he just threw himself to the ground. But our referee, give him a lot of credit in that moment. Nikola Alexic understood exactly what Djordjevic was trying to do and waves off the small protestations from the crowd.
Now, Djordjevic did draw the penalty in the first meeting between these two teams that broke the deadlock. Trying to play it to Umar, goes all the way through to Borso. Borso goes down. Djordjevic striding forward. Cooper Flax again, another recovery in midfield. Julian Kennedy can't control it, turns it over. Salvo. Gets through to Bynum. He ushers it forward to Chambron Pino. Oh, Mitchell. Cookies, we're going the other way. 2-on-2, Pinozo in the middle. Mitchell drives forward, lays it off for Pinozo. Back to Mitchell. Does anyone want to shoot? Yes, save, no! Couldn't keep it off the line. It took a while, but in the end, the finish was Jalen Mitchell, 2-0.
SMU taking advantage of a mistake again, another slip, and this time Jalen Mitchell starts to go decisive. Now Pinozo sort of kills the space, but Mitchell does a really good job after Pinozo pulls off of being able to stay central, and what deception to be able to get beyond Torvik. Watch as this comes back to Mitchell. Watch how he fakes past Torvik. Now he creates the space, and it's just scrambling on the goal line, nearly able to clear it off. But tidy footwork from Jalen Mitchell, not only on the finish, but on the celebration. SMU 2 goals to the good in quick fashion.
2 goals in 7 minutes, and now they control this game where they spent a lot of time on their heels, but not anymore. The second half has been different, and they've made the most out of 2 mistakes, Jamie. A poor clearance by Bill Cummins. The other outside back, Amani Thomas, turnover here, leads to 2 goals by the Mustangs. They're too good to give them those type of opportunities.
At halftime, we spoke about how fine the margins were in this match. Dallin, it's been 2 individual mistakes for Wake Forest, and SMU have been ruthless in punishing the the Demon Deacons. It is a game in which you'll look back and you'll say there's not much so far that have separated these 2 teams except 2 breakdowns individually. Not a team breakdown, but an individual one. And those are the ones that hurt the most.
Oh, Deeks may hit back quickly. Umar, nice through ball to Kennedy, goes out for a corner. Just like after the first goal, Wake went the other way and put some pressure and got themselves a corner. See if they can capitalize.
The service has to be able to clear the first post. We have not seen it get beyond the first defender for SMU, so Torvik has to make sure to get this above and beyond. Float this up. Look at how problematic the sun is right now. Torvik cannot short this corner.
Nice job by our crew in there, Brad Sheldon, our director, to capture that as Dominguez is struggling. Clip back in. And Dominguez off his line to grab it. He'll be in no rush now. And Danny Kruger bumping into Bynum. A little chippy from the freshman.
Now's when the mentality gets tested for both sides. SMU okay with this getting chippy, because every second that's spent by Wake Forest players worrying about going back and forth with Mustang players, there's a second less that the Deeks are thinking about getting back into this match and how they can get a goal to cut the deficit in half. And for SMU, the clock is their best friend right now, so the more time is spent in these little arguments, the stoppages, killing the momentum and the flow, the better for the Mustangs in trying to kill this game off.
Nicely brought down. Torvik. Umar. A little reverse pass to White. Clip back in. Out by Zarnik.
Wake Forest need to be careful. They're not trying to score the perfect goal to walk it in. You get in those moments, have a shot low hard to the far post. It forces Dominguez into a situation where on the initial effort he has to make a save, but where does the rebound go? Wake Forest looking for the perfect goal. Just get shots on target right now. Give yourself a chance.
Hooked in, good ball. Dominguez read it well, though.
Watch how long this will take Dominguez to get up and distribute this. He caught this at 56 seconds on the clock. Another look at it. Dominguez just having the command and reading the game to understand that just toeing the line, trying to get him behind Bynum. By the way, if you're counting, that was about 21 seconds before that ball was released. Dominguez just taking all the time, affecting the game however he can. It's the street smarts of being able to just wind every second off the clock right now.
Veteran move, played out wide to Borso. Torbeck offering himself, gets it. Kruger lays it up. Shot to Flex and goes out for a corner kick. Wake Forest has been a second half team. Over 80% of their goals are in the second half, but against SMU, things have not gone their way. 5-0 through 90 plus 70, 160 minutes. Not a mathematician. I was told there'd be no math. I could handle that. Playing there. In swinging ball, loose by the spot, and just kind of dinked forward by White, and then corralled by Dominguez. And there is a SMU player right now, Enzo Pinozo, on the deck. The walk-on that's earned himself starting spot in this SMU roster. The junior from Rock Island, Illinois. Wanted to come to SMU, told Kevin Hudson. Kevin said, I really don't think we have a spot for you. I don't care, I'm coming. I'm going to prove it to you, I'll walk on. Walks on, grinds his way, and into this junior year now. Got his first start back when they played Stanford. He started now 4 games straight, excuse me. Hopefully he can get up and finish the game. Scored in the first meeting between these two teams as well. He's doing a little bleeding from the nose, but he'll keep it going.
I love that story that you just told about Pinozo betting on himself. Right, and look where it pays off. The most important game of the season for SMU, and Pinozo finds himself at the other end of the field. As a center back by trade as he came in, but has adapted to what the team has needed, and catches the backside of Ruvalcaba, not even expecting it. Oh, that is a painful one for Pinozo. Tough to be able to shake that one off, but Pinozo has done well to be able to fight, scrape, claw for everything, given nothing, earned everything. Now here we are with less than 20 minutes to go, and he's going to have an important role in trying to relieve some pressure when the ball gets played long, to try to hold the ball up, win some fouls, slow the game up, do everything that he can at the other end of the field to give a little bit of a reprieve from the back three and the collective defensive unit for the Mustangs.
Dominguez goes long, and Ponce hooks it forward again. Umar able to corral it and knock it out to Torbeck. And Ponce. Kruger. Line to White, can't control. This is the second game of 4 quarterfinals today here in ACC Network. Clemson beat Stanford 1-0 in the first game, a chance for them to continue to defend their ACC championship crown from last year, as well as their NCAA tournament championship crown. We've got Cal and Duke coming up next. Duke, the number 3 seed. Cal, the 11 seed, took down, Jamie, your UNC Tar Heels in Chapel Hill in the opening round, and have a chance to be the Cinderella and keep this thing going if they can take down the Blue Devils in Durham as Jalen Mitchell comes forward. Ball is intercepted. And the nightcap ending things in Pittsburgh as the Panthers take on UVA. Virginia advancing in the 8-9 matchup, come from behind win against NC State in Raleigh. Now they take on the Panthers, a team that beat them 4-1 16 days ago, looking to avenge that loss against the number 1 team in the regular season champs in Pitt, also number 1 team in the RPI in the Panthers, who've shown they're beatable, Jamie, as of late. I mean, they're 2-3 in their last 2-3 in their last 5.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing up again the Cal UNC heartbreak for us Tar Heel alumni. Look, you know,
just giving the stats here, my friend.
Cal is no Columbia men's soccer program. You know, the Columbia Lions, I'm sure, would have roared just as loudly as Cal did playing against UNC. But nonetheless, I digress here. That was a big win for Cal, and we had a great deep dive discussion at halftime. Where my hot take was, I think Cal do enough to be able to get a result to make themselves postseason eligible. I think Leonard Griffin is going to shock a lot of people with his side coming in to Durham and doing enough to be able to get a result. That is my prediction. The 11th seed Cal will stand tall against the Blue Devils.
Turned over here in a bad area. Umar's touched long, though. Clear back to Torvik. Just to finish that, Cal did beat Pitt on the road, and they did beat UNC on the road. Like, they've beaten really good teams on their pitch. So, yeah, this could definitely go down at 6 o'clock here.
We'll put it this way. It's the ACC tournament. Anybody can win. It's a one-off to survive in advance. And we're not talking about playing a best-of-7 series. I don't know if I'd have the same take if it was that. But in a one-off, that Cal side has enough to be able to do it, as you alluded to. Two very difficult opponents to go on the road and beat, yet they've done it. They will have to draw back on those type of performances in that next matchup against the Blue Devils.
They beat their rival Stanford, too. I mean, let that go. So these all happened in the last 3 weeks. So this Cal team is playing hot right now as comes forward as White trying to ride the challenge. He goes down, no call. Borso, still Borso. We'll give it a hit. It deflected, so Dominguez wanted to save the corner and does just that.
Good bit of skill from Borso. He's going to drop the shoulder twice. Watch the balance. That was the second. And then that's why you got to have some efforts. I'd like to see White be a bit more proactive. That ball was kept in by Dominguez in an awkward fashion, but White was just waiting in just anticipation that Dominguez was going to catch that cleanly. It didn't happen. White needs to be thinking, what's the worst case scenario and how can I go and take advantage of that if it is to happen?
Lamar Bynum down to the deck right now. Senior from Albuquerque, transferred from Colorado State Pueblo. Conference Player of the Year a couple years ago in that league. His 35th appearance for the Mustangs. Under 16 to play. Is there anything Wake should do different? Do you get to go route one later, or you just continue to play the way Wake's going to play? Like, what's their way to get back into this thing?
For Wake Forest, I'd like to see them get an extra number in the box. I love Bobby Musin, the style that he likes to play. But at times you need to trade the visually pleasing aesthetic style of soccer for an effective style of soccer. And so this is all well and good to have this possession and have this methodical build-up and whatnot, but all it takes is one bad pass, one bad breakdown, one heavy touch, and now SMU are turning Wake around. Whereas if you can get more players forwarded to the box and a bit more direct, now you're starting to get some knockdowns and some second balls in and around the top of the box for SMU. Right now it's not really about the style, it's more about the substance, and Wake just doesn't necessarily have much of either, certainly not the substance.
Sparks lays it off to Mitchell, out to Djordjevic. Under 15 to play. Mitchell, second goal scorer, ridden off the ball. And Ponce distributes nicely to Kennedy. Can he hold it up? Can't. Chambron Pino. Winner of this heads to Cary to play in the ACC Men's Championship semifinal. Both the semis and the final will be in Cary, North Carolina. The 14th for the semis, 17th noon Eastern on ESPNU for the final. That is also the site of the National Championship, the College Cup semifinals and the final in Cary, North Carolina. Wake Men's Soccer Park. Umar on pocket of space. Salvo called for the foul. Junior from Madrid. As you mentioned though earlier, Jamie, applied his trade in high school at Coppell, Texas. Orso tries to cut inside again, not this time. Kruger.
Better starting position from Wake Forest in this attack, but look, it's all right now in wide areas and high areas. Now there needs to be a flood of numbers into the box. Get some service in. Instead of trying to walk this in, you've got to be able to get some balls in the box quickly and try to get some knockdowns or secondary balls inside the box.
Torvik, nice job combining Flax. And this will be a dangerous place. Cooper Flax has been known to score from here. This could really change the complexion of this game.
This is a very big moment in this match. First and foremost, Flax will feel as though he should really threaten Dominguez from here, and this has to be on target. Non-negotiable. You've got to hit the target from here. And then every other player from Wake Forest needs to follow up in case Dominguez is able to get this, if it hits the post, if it deflects, whatever the case may be. You have to get everybody crashing forward, and Flax has to hit the target.
Hit the target, he does! Flax, the junior, comes through. Penalty in the first game of the tournament, a beauty right there to have the deficit. Hang on, folks.
Oh my goodness. Hours spent on the training ground, perfecting your craft. For in the biggest moment of the season, you step up and deliver a world-class free kick. On an afternoon when it's been hard to come by chances in the final third through the run of play, Wake Forest was crying out for a moment of brilliance from somebody, and up steps their captain, the junior, Cooper Flax, with one of the best free kick goals you will see all season in the ACC.
He's a specialist with that right foot, the junior from Dix Hills, New York, out on Long Island, New York City FC Academy product. Has captained that academy at every age level. Now he's one of the captains here at Wake Forest and steps up in a massive moment. Nicholas Mencia has just checked on for Torvik, senior from Chile, 28 in the middle of your pit, 28 with the ball right now. And Ryan Belal came in the match as well, as Umar gets out of some trouble, or tries to at least. He turns it over. Djordjevic now striding forward. Djordjevic still lays it out for Escorcia. And then Ponce will pick it off. Belal trying to run it down. Kennedy in there too. Kind of like a couple different strikers up there. Escorcia. New life feels like it's coming to this building. A little tense nature for Mustangs fans. And there's a decent amount of Demon Deacons here making their presence felt to turn this thing around. Oh, Djordjevic right past Mencia. Djordjevic still. Djordjevic deflected.
What a huge block from Kruger that was. If Wade come back and get a second goal, we're going to circle back to that moment where Kruger does so well to read the game and get into the path to block that effort.
Mitchell. Escorcia pings it out to Chambron Pina and tries to be a little tricky there for no reason. And it goes out.
That is not the time to try to get a highlight reel trap and bring it down. There's 11 minutes left in this match. Just get the job done. Don't worry about Instagram highlights.
Mitchell. Man, Mencia having a tough start to this game that he's coming into at this level right now. But Ponce able to come and help and says, hold on, let's relax for a second here. Djordjevic steps well. Roll forward to Mencia. Play a good ball in early. This might fall right to Belal. We're equal. The sub does it. The freshman from Baltimore, his third goal of the season. And we are knotted up again.
Oh my goodness. This ball in early for Mencia gets everybody waiting. Now watch how Belal is going to recalibrate as this hangs up in the air. He slows himself down. He gets his feet right. He's going to chop the steps. Now watch this. Drives it into the ground. So Dominguez has to track not only the flight of the ball, but the bounce. Dominguez is there, but because this is struck into the ground from Belal, that's why he's able to get it beyond Dominguez. That is a tremendous amount of composure as that ball is hanging in the air. Belal knows how important this moment is and the good positioning that he's in, but to be able to get that technique right, to get the second goal within 3 minutes to turn this game all the way around shows an immense amount of composure from the freshman.
How about the last 21 minutes here, folks? You had 2 goals from SMU in 7 minutes, and you have 2 from the visiting Wake Forest team in 3 minutes. And we are all even for the last 9:30. Here we go with a spot in the semifinals, ACC Men's Soccer Championship on the line. Jamie, how do you respond if you're SMU? Like, what's the mental change when you go from up 2 at home, kind of coasting, to now being in an equal and a tie game?
Without a doubt, there's a sense of nervousness, and you're a bit shell-shocked. Right? 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, you were 2 goals to the good and looked as though you were not conceding much of anything. What a foul at the top of the box, a wonderful free kick, and then an early service. Now all of a sudden, all the good that you did to get this 2-goal lead gets quickly erased. Now is when you need some leadership, the likes of Salvo to get on the ball, Sparks to get on the ball. And Ruvalcaba has the opportunity with this long throw, create a little bit of chaos. You got to be able to react first if you're the Mustangs to any secondary ball.
Ruvalcaba with the long throw. Loose in the box. Pinozo gets a foot to it. Now popped up. Sparks chased it down and then goes in hard. And Sparks, who started the goal scoring in this wild second half, call for the foul. So if you're tuning in to look for the Duke-Cal game, the 3rd game of the ACC quarterfinal Sunday here, you can watch on the ACC Network Extra, the ESPN app, the conclusion of that game. We will get you there here on the linear channel as soon as we are done between Wake and SMU. But we got a 2-2 game here down the stretch. And of course, now that we are in postseason play, overtime rules apply. We will have a 10-minute period. Sudden victory is there. First goal to win. If there's no goal in the first 10 minutes, we have a second 10-minute period. No goal there. We will then advance to penalty kicks. Amani Thomas does keep it in. That whistle finally blows. It went out touch. Conversely, Jamie, what's Wake Forest? Wake Forest has got to be flying so high right now to be even with a chance to win this game in regulation or in overtime.
I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier to go run and chase down now when you have all the momentum and the belief back. It is a complete shift mentality-wise, and right now you're starting to see the nerve settle in for SMU. They're trying to combat that with good passing, but for Wake, they are just continuing to press right now, and that makes it ever so difficult for SMU to try to play their way through this press that they're seemingly doing so right now. But my goodness, if you're Wake Forest, you find a whole nother level of energy to be able to go and chase and try to get one more goal when you see what you were doing is working and you're getting that end result. Right now, it looks like SMU have their backs up against the rope and they're trying to figure out how to stop the bleeding.
Owen Zarnik on the ball. Alex Salvo. Back to Ruvalcaba.
But this is really good from SMU right now. This 20-pass sequence that they've got going right now is good to be able to alleviate some of the pressure.
Chambron Pino got a great left foot. Be able to get out a little bit of a cross. It got deflected, picked off by Wake. Scorsia working well on Umar to control the ball. Scorsia's going to get out of cross here. Nobody home, though, in SMU jersey. And Sparks is stumbled into by Julian Georgievich. No call. Djordjevic, well done by Thomas. Monty Thomas now popping it forward again. Kevin Hudson saying that got deflected, it's our ball. And no, it will be Wake's ball.
There we go. This game has found a different level of intensity. And Kevin Hudson is absolutely right. That did take a deflection. So subtle, happened so quickly that the refereeing crew have been very good today. Missed that one.
So Nate Berkovich checks in as Kennedy goes down. You see 8 right in the middle of your picture for Jalen Mitchell. Mitchell, the second goal scorer for SMU. Djordjevic working on Mencia. Mencia with a foul. And Sweet Sport, well, Georgia's trying to be sporting. Mencia didn't care for it.
Emotions are getting heightened right now. You got to make sure to be equal parts intense as you are to composed. And right now, these two teams are fully aware of the situation that this game is now leveled itself back out and gotten to a point where you have to minimize the mistakes, and you cannot have a rush of blood to the head and make a rash decision right now. You have to be able to keep your composure more importantly than anything. And right now, people are getting tested. We're going to find out who's got the mental fortitude to withstand this. And here comes another long throw for SMU. This is the moment where SMU need to be committed to winning the first one, but also being able to react quickest for the knockdown. They all count the same at this point. Doesn't matter if it's a scrappy goal, but right now, who's going to win the secondary ball? That's what I have my eyes on this.
Uval Kaba to take the throw. Off and off his line, he corrals. Ponsa makes a little shove, but can't control the ball. Pinozo. Djordjevic down. Lays it off to Berkovich. Ponsa comes over. Crunching challenge. Gets the ball, though, and both men are down. Wake trying to go the other way. Borso's on it. Umar running. Belal running the channel. Borso's pass does not come up. He's got Flax right to his left. Flax wants to get on that right foot. Does. Strikes it. Oh, Dominguez! Got a glove to it. And I'm not sure that would have found the back of the net if he didn't get that paw on it.
Oh, wow. Watch this good agility, low center of gravity from Cooper Flax to go back against the grain. And oh, wow. Incredible from Dominguez. Watch how he takes this extra half step before he launches himself. If he doesn't take that step before, this game is 3-2 Wake Forest. Incredible from Dominguez.
We're at 90 seconds as Flax takes. Floating ball to the back post, and that's not the service he wanted. Reminder, we are in postseason play, so this thing is not going to end deadlocked. We will go to overtime, a 10-minute overtime period for sudden victory in play. If no winner in the first 10 minutes, we go to a second 10-minute period. If still no winner, it's penalty time. Under a minute. Dominguez drives it right to the feet of Borso. He can make a run now with this. Borso goes down. Alexic says, get up. Kruger, heavy touch. Scorsia on under 40 seconds. Pinozo. We've seen late drama in this tournament already as the clock ticked down. Will we see more? Great ball to Djordjevic if he can get there. Under 30. He does wait, touches it out. Will Rubalcaba come forward for a throw? Yes, he's on the gallop. 20 seconds. Zarnik is forward, the big center back. He's looking for a center back partner. Finds it, heads it on right there, and off the line. In the back is Thomas. That may have saved a goal because I think Berkovich was lurking. We're going to OT.
Oh my gosh, are you not entertained? Watch this at the back post. If this doesn't get cleared away, Berkovich is about to enter the SportsCenter top 10 with the last-second heroics. At the back post, the tracking, an incredible job to be able to clear that away. Bo Cummins is there, and Bo Cummins saves the day. That is remarkable defending to adjust, to track it, and to bravely stick your head in there while Berkovich was about to commit the spectacular overhead to keep us at 2-2 and send us to overtime.
And Bo Cummins, wow, what an opportunity there. He had a poor clearance early in the match that gave up a goal. Well, he just saved the game here. OT is next. We'll set it up for you after this quick break.
There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Take a look and even see into your imagination.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today. And this holiday season, you can order a Cajun-style turkey at your local Popeyes. Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? What?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Oh, this is my flavor.
Wow. Hey, Jay, this project might need a bit of zhuzhing. Holla back, Warren.
Please let me know your thoughts. Best regards, Warren.
I am genius.
This is ACC basketball. Year in and year out, extraordinary athletes dominate the game and go on to shine in the pros with the most NCAA tournament wins and the most NBA draft picks ever. Each season, we continue to build on our unrivaled history of success. This is the premier conference in college basketball. This is the ACC. Accomplished greatness.
Welcome back to Washburn Soccer and Track Stadium here at SMU. 2-2 after 90 minutes, about to start the first overtime, as Bobby Muse addresses his boys. There have been 4 goals in the final 31 minutes of this game, evenly distributed. Started with Bailey Sparks, the second-team All-American from last year, with the flip.
Oh my goodness, the excellent finish, the flip, everything. It was 2 goals to the good. They're grittying their way, they think, to the semifinals of the ACC tournament, until Cooper Flax steps up with a world-class free kick. And then 3 minutes later, Bynum gets caught with the bad hop, and Belal slows himself down, composes himself, slams it into the ground past Dominguez. And that's where we sit at the end of 90 minutes. Not much separating these two teams, and so we play on.
Yeah, it was a big-time comeback keyed by Cooper Flax's free kick. Now, take a look at the rules for overtime. They've changed in recent years. So this year we're back to 2 10-minute periods, sudden victory. And if there's a goal, this thing is over at any point, either one of those 10-minute periods. Subs cannot re-enter in the first or the second periods of overtime. Clock stops on all substitutions. And last but not least, if we are still tied after second overtime, we are going to the vaunted penalty kicks. Alongside Jamie Watson, I'm Dallin Cuff. We talked about nerves in these type of games. We've talked about the ebb and the flow of this game. Again, you've been there before. You've played in this tournament with North Carolina in your college days. What is the pressure like in an overtime situation, especially when it's sudden victory or golden goal, if you will, one goal and it's over?
There's no bigger pressure than this moment right now that you face. Through the regular season, there's pressure. In the ACC tournament, it's at a level 10 out of 10. So you have to understand, you mitigate risk. When there's an opportunity that you get the ball and you're under pressure and you're on your defensive third, now's not the time to take chances. It's better to just put your foot through it, clear it, get your lines up and say, we go again. Look, everybody on both benches, Kevin Hudson for the hosts and Bobby Muse for the visitors, they want their teams to play good, attractive soccer. But at this point in time, you cannot make mistakes, and you've got to be able to capitalize when your opponent makes one.
We are underway. Nick Alexic is our center official here. If you're just joining us looking for Duke Cal, you can watch on ACC Network Extra, the ESPN app. The Golden Bears up 1-0, the 11th seed, the potential Cinderella over Duke. But we got a great one here for you as Wake was down 2-0 on the road, came back 2 goals in 3 minutes to make it 2-2 in force overtime as Bo Cummins is on his horse trying to catch it. He gets the ball and gets fouled by Bynum. So a chance, they all have an early chance to serve the box here.
These are the mistakes that we were alluding to a moment ago, and Lamar Bynum, he understands that as this touch goes beyond him, he's got to make sure that Bo Cummins cannot be able to continue on. He has to be able to bring him down. That heavy touch pushes the ball over the touchline, but nonetheless, Bynum would never known that, and he's got to be able to bring down Cummins. This will be a good look at it right here. Clever from Cummins, and Bynum really should see a booking for that late tackle. He'll avoid one, but nonetheless, we get a free kick, and now I'd like to see the contrast. Throughout the course of the 90 minutes, Wake Forest went short with it. Very rarely did they loop the ball in or ping it in with any pace. I'd like to see Cooper Flax with an outswinger play this right along the 6-yard box for somebody on Wake Forest and all the defenders from SMU to tackle back and try to win it.
Jose Perez plays that ball. It's well played, but headed out by SMU. Umar. Oh, now bodies flying. Mancia came in there. So Travis Smith Jr. is on a potential yellow card accumulation situation. He started the match, has not played after the halftime. You've got Amani Thomas and Mancia working some left and out back spots. You've got Bo Cummins doing great in the right back spot, but got some different lineups here by Bobby Muse. And a lot of guys have stepped up at different moments. Whoa, heavy touch by Dominguez. He's in trouble. Could be an opportunity. Paris Mitchell's got it, plays it back to the middle. Umar can't control it. The goal was a gape.
Oh my goodness. The pressure is mounting right now, and that back pass to Dominguez, way too high. That is a big let-off for SMU, who so far inside the first 2 minutes have committed 2 mistakes. They've been saved at the last second on both of them.
There's Travis Smith Jr. mentioned in the yellow card situation. He's back in there at the left back spot. Umar. Mitchell was trying to connect with Smith. Now, Smith did have the game-winning goal in their opening round win over Syracuse. Come from behind win. They were down 1-0. They're looking to do today what they did back in the first week of the season. They were down 2-0 against Central Arkansas. Came back to win 3-2. This will be quite a different feat to do against the number 15 team in the country. But Jalen Mitchell is on it. And Alexic says, get up. And now Wake Forest chance to transition the other way. Playing it forward to Paris Mitchell. Foot race with Zornick. Zornick in trouble. Oh! Clattered into each other. Mitchell and Bynum, and bodies are down. And they'll call it on Mitchell.
Bynum gets the worst of this, but I'm not sure that there's anything that Mitchell does or could do to avoid this. Bynum comes in full speed. Watch this. The ball's there. I think Bynum's the one that initiates the contact. Bynum obviously has the hard landing, but both of those two go in full speed. I would have preferred, with the way that this game has been refereed, that just plays on.
Wow. And Bynum is still down. He was down a couple different times in this match, first half and second half. And the clock is stopped right now. And Alexic is chatting with the SMU players. This has been a wild first 2 minutes and 48 seconds to this overtime. Dominguez set up to take it long. The 4-5 matchup of the tournament. The 8-9 matchup. It's UVA and Pitt. The winner of this game will move on to play the winner of that game. Elon got a long way to go here in Dallas. Georgievich, what a tackle to dispossess Smith. How can he make a cross? He does, floats it back. Poster is there. Escorcia to Sparks. Tries the quick chest and turn shot, doesn't come off.
This is where the lack of a true number 9 for SMU truly hurts them. Watch Penoso, not even in your screen. There's the left back, the left center back, and the right center back that are all in between Enzo Penoso and Georgievich as he plays this in. It would take an inch-perfect ball over 3 defenders onto the head of Penoso for anything to come of that. If you have a true number 9, the number 9 understands to cut across the face of the center back in that moment to try to get an effort on target. That's where SMU are really hurting in the final third.
And again, if you're looking to tune into Cal and Duke, you can watch that on ACC Network Extra and the ESPN app. The first half, but it's not deadlocked anymore. Cal is up 1-0 through an 0 on Duke. So right now, the number 11 seed would beat North Carolina, beat Stanford, beat Pitt all in the last month. Could pull off another road win that would really help their RPI at 45 right now as Escorcia running down the sideline. Back heel to the wrong team. And Ponsa back to Alfin, who wasn't quite ready for that. Now Alfin fires it back to Ponsa. Not the time, maybe, fellas.
Yep.
Yeah, nervy moments here in that back for the Demon Deacons. Kruger plays it out to touch. Scorsia trying to turn on Ortez. Up Georgievich. Floats it, looking for Bailey Sparks. Georgievich out to Mitchell. Travis Smith probably has fresher legs than most right now to not play in the second half. Umar coming forward. Borso. Zarnik stepped over, just got enough of it, but Borso's still on it. Looking for Mancia. Can he flow to cut it back? He went out of play, and then kicks it off Bynum's chest. Let me ask you that, Jamie, because with these new substitution rules this year where there was no re-entry in the second half, it's the first overtime game any of these guys have played in college where you're going past 90 minutes where you couldn't come out and back in the second half. How, if at all, does that affect you?
Right now, at this point in the season, everybody is as match fit as you could possibly imagine. So it's not necessarily a question of fitness, it's the mental sharpness in these moments to be able to make the right decisions, to play the right entry pass, the right weight on the pass. We've seen a bad back pass to Dominguez, an errant pass to Alfred. Right now, logically and mentally, you have to be able to be as sharp as possible throughout any point in the season, because one mistake and your tournament could be done.
Couldn't combine the 1-2 with Flax. You got a potential odd man break here. Mustangs busting it forward. Chambron Pino to the left, Mitchell through the middle, Sparks making the run, and probably not what Kevin Hudson wanted to see.
Well, and it's showing you that Bailey Sparks has the aerobic ability from a deep lying position to run beyond everybody, including the back four for Wake Forest. You need to take the chance. That's the moment to try to play it through and slip a ball through into Bailey Sparks. I don't like the idea of playing it safe there and going out wide. Give yourself the chance to break that back line and be able to reward Bailey Sparks for that run. So he'll have the willingness to do it again in overtime if it doesn't succeed.
Pinozo crowded out. Cleaned out to Smith. There's Perez. Might fall for Mitchell. No, it doesn't. Heavy touch by Cummins. Whoa! That was audacious, but the way it was dipping, Jose Perez almost had a worldie.
Oh my goodness. You said audacious, and it's that fine line of crazy and genius. If you tell me the angle of approach from 30 yards out was that, I'd tell you you were crazy. And then by the end of it, it was almost pure genius. My word. The technical ability, the way to be able to get his hips around like that, my goodness.
We did see Marcy Colleen about 10 days ago do that in your alma mater in Chapel Hill from 35 yards out. Put it in the top corner. So things happened. He gave BC the 1-0 win over the Heels. But under 30 seconds, what a ball to Borso. And Djordjevic rides it down and no call. Goes out to touch, 20 seconds. 15 seconds. Umar, it's Travis Smith, 10. Got to play it in here. Drives it in. And Bailey Sparks able to clear it just in time. So after 30 wild minutes with 4 goals, we went 10 with none. What would you take away from that overtime there, Jamie?
You can tell the players are feeling the pressure and the intensity of the moment. But yet, it has been a wonderful job of this last-ditch defending. Right now, more so than ever, there's so little that separates these teams from a quality standpoint. So now it's going to come down to execution. Here's how we got here. Bailey Sparks got us started. Jalen Mitchell makes it 2 goals for the host. Everything's going all well and good in the 66th minute until it's not in the 77th minute. Textbook technique from Cooper Flax on the free kick. And then this moment, Belal stays over it, evens it up. That's the 80th minute. We go into overtime, so we start talking about mistakes and mental fatigue. A heavy back pass and a better touch. This could have easily been over from Umar in that moment if he takes a better touch. But instead, We go on into the second overtime period, and you just get the sense and the feeling, the way this game is playing out. This is going to be one team that advances because of a mistake in punishing their opponent, but yet it's hard to tell who it's going to be, Dallin.
And Bobby Muse getting his guys ready. Kevin Hudson doing the same as we go to overtime here, 2-2. And just to update you real quick what's going on in the Cal Duke. If you're tuning in for that game and you want to see Cal and Duke, the 11-3 matchup that started at 6 o'clock Eastern, ESPN, the app, ACC Network Extra is where you need to go. We're finishing things up here. Cal, though, is up 2-0. Not 1, but 2-0 early in that game. So we'll keep you updated as we get things done here in Dallas. We'll take a break here right now to tell you about the basketball action coming up on the ACC Network Friday. Doubleheader beginning at 6 Eastern. Number 21 Florida takes on Florida State, followed by North Carolina coming off that really tough, tight road loss to Kansas. They get to host American. Sorry, American, might be tough for you at the Dean Smith Center, coming off that L for the Heels. And then Saturday at noon, if you have not seen Cooper Flagg, Colin Knippel, and the other great players at Duke, great freshmen at Duke, please tune in. Noon Eastern, Wofford at Duke. Cooper Flagg will be your #1 pick in the NBA draft. In June, get him while you can now on the college hardwood here on ACC Network. All right, Jamie Watson, Dallin Cuff here with you from Dallas, 2-2 in this 4-5 matchup with the ACC Men's Soccer Championship. We've seen these teams play for 100 minutes. You said that maybe a mistake is going to be the difference. In terms of either team, who's more likely to see this thing through right now, given what you've seen from both teams?
Ooh, if I could tell you that, I would then tell you the next 6 numbers that come to mind, and we'd go buy a lottery ticket and go halfsies on that one. In all seriousness, names that we have not said enough in the attacking third. That's one of them, Bailey Sparks, and the other one, Kieran Chambron-Pino. We have not said those 2 names for the SMU attack nearly enough. However, those 2 players possess the ability to be able, at a moment's notice, to create a moment of brilliance. So if you are Wake Forest and you think you don't need to put as much emphasis on defending those 2, you could be sadly mistaken, and your run in the ACC tournament can be done. Now, for the flip side, Julian Kennedy, he needs to be able to continue to play off the back shoulder of the 3 center backs for SMU. And Bassett Umar needs to go and try to join in to create a numbers overload with Cooper Flax running in behind, right through the heart of the midfield. And the center spine of this Wake Forest side is how Wake Forest will be able to get a result here in the final 10 minutes, if they are.
Well, here we go. Final 10 minutes. If there is no goal, this is a sudden victory situation now in college soccer overtime. So first goal wins. If that does not happen, we are going to PKs, where, frankly, SMU has been excellent this year in their penalties. 5 for 5, all taken by Bailey Sparks. He's second in the nation in penalty kick goals, and a Wake team that has struggled from the spot as Umar's pass goes long. They're only 2 of 5 as a team, and Martin Dominguez, the keeper that's about to play the goal kick here, saved one against this very Wake Forest team in Julian Kennedy earlier this season. SMU readying a sub now as we speak. Milton Lopez is going to come back in the match for Enzo Pinoza in that striker position. Jalen Mitchell able to spin out there, and that's probably going to be our first yellow of the match. Yep. Jose Perez goes into the book.
It's been a competitive match. It's been a match that's played in good spirit. There have been hard tackles, but I think that this is the one. Maybe Bynum in the first part of the first overtime, you can make an argument that maybe deserved a booking, but nonetheless, this is the first time we've really seen a moment where you go, okay, fair enough, that's a yellow card apart from that Bynum tackle early.
Zarnik just kind of dinked it forward to the feet of Lopez. Mentioned just him subbing in. Borso comes out of a lot of traffic with the ball, and then he goes down. He'll draw a foul. Dylan Borso, the freshman from Chicago. His brother Wyatt plays for Notre Dame, but is hurt all year. Speaking of hurt, Alex Salvo is down on the deck right now. One of the linchpins of the midfield of the Mustangs.
Salvo's been so smart in his astute positioning, and that time he just sort of cuts right across, and it's an awkward nature as he's stretched out He's collapsing over in an unnatural position, and then the full weight of Borso falls on top. You hope this is a case of just getting the wind knocked out of him. Nothing more than that, but Salvo has been so influential. This is a
trainers are working
could be a
their
big
way
turning
out to
point
the
in this
field.
match.
See the sophomore from Madrid, all freshman team in the American Athletic Conference last year. Kevin Hudson would always tell you, one of the unsung guys within this team. Bailey Sparks gets a lot of the love, scores a lot of the goals, but that midfield partnership between Salvo and Sparks is huge. They're already down a guy, Noah Irvin, who plays usually more wide, but not a very deep SMU team. Irvin was hurt in the opener of the tournament, and his season is over, unfortunately, as he had shoulder surgery on his clavicle. Sal will have to wait to be re-entered into the match now. Again, we are in a next goal win situation here in overtime sudden victory, as it's called in NCAA soccer. If there is no goal, we are going to penalties. First time we've seen penalties this year in the ACC tournament. Laid off to Flax. Flax spins into trouble. Ooh, gets the foul call though.
This is a moment where you're starting to see the game get a little bit disjointed, and Cooper Flax this time, he does such a good job of being able to turn on a dime, and I do think that's the right call. I do think the feet were tangled. Now this is a precarious position because you are a little far out for an effort at goal, not beyond the means of capability, but it would take something truly special. So now you're talking about, do you try to clip this, and then are you getting a secondary ball played back across? I'd like to see this go towards the side of Smith Jr. on the near side, number 3, who's just in an offside position, will come back, and then is there a redirect back across?
Now Cooper Flax scored a goal about 10 yards longer. This was attempted shot by Perez, who had a shot in live action from about 30 yards in the first OT that almost was a highlight. Cooper Flax has a lot of bodies in the box, and there'll be a foul on Paris Mitchell.
I don't love that decision from Perez. It would take something out of this world to be able to score from that distance, and then you see the foul. It's the right decision from a referee, Alexic, to be able to whistle that in real time. But man, right now you don't get a lot of those set piece opportunities, so why not try to clip it into the box, win a secondary ball, as opposed to a miraculous 35-yard free kick.
Quigley, heavy back pass to Alfin, handled well. Travis Smith. Perez. Oh. Forward to Scorsia, cuts it back. Lopez can't get it off underneath his feet. Lays it off. Chambron Pino arriving, but Alfin was there. It seemed like a moment for the Mustangs.
This all happens because Smith Jr. is on a yellow card, and he does not want to take, he's on a yellow card accumulation warning. He didn't want to stop the play with the foul at midfield. There's that threat of missing the first game of the NCAA tournament, and I guarantee you that thought in the back of his head is why he did not stop that counter attack. And then there was another moment as he retracted back defensively that he couldn't put a tackle in for the same very reason. And the game almost ended because of that hesitation.
That's a great point, Jamie. Now Smith Jr. defending again on Jalen Mitchell. Mitchell gets end line, drives it, side netter.
As good as Travis Smith Jr. is, if I'm Bobby Muse, I'm thinking I have to take him off, because he's so reluctant to defend and dive in and be late that right now he's getting beat in 1v1 situations. Whereas conversely, if I'm an SMU Mustang player on that side, I am running at number 3 consistently. And you know what?
Well, here you go.
Coming right off. It has to. It
Well
has to
said,
be, and it's
Jimmy.
no fault of his own, because Smith Jr. is consciously thinking, if we're out of the tournament at this point, I can't be suspended for the first game of the NCAA tournament. He's sitting there saying, I can't foul. I can read his lips. I can't foul there.
And Bobby Muse was worried about that coming in. He talked to us about like how to play him, where to play him, but and that's, yeah, you can't have that happening out there. So you got a number of subs coming in. For Bobby Muse's crew. So Julian Kennedy. So you got Julian Kennedy coming back in the match. Trying to get confirmation on the Wake players subbing in here as waiting, wondering what are we doing? Why are we not playing? They're working on the reset right now, we're being told. Clock's reset. We're back in action now. So Imani Thomas is checked back in. He'll go to the left back spot. Bo Cummins will come to the right back spot. Kennedy is in the match as well. And Colin Thomas is too. Down the end line they go. That's Colin Thomas, who just rejoined the match, one of the grad students. And Sparks going to call for a foul there. Under 5 minutes. Cummins heavy touch. And Dominguez out to grab it. Kruger looking to break the lines, find the feet of Kennedy. He does. A lot of heavy legs out there. Scorsia looking long for Mitchell. Thomas in a foot race, wins it. And now he's fouled. Under 4 minutes.
So
4
good.
minutes from penalties now.
So good from Thomas there. And that's the difference. Thomas was able to get the inside track, a little bit of a body to be able to win that position battle, and then just be able to ride the challenge, absorb the contact, and win the foul. That's a different mentality of a player who can play freely without that yellow card accumulation that Smith Jr. had. And now that was a very astute substitution from Bobby Muse to be able to get Thomas on, who can compete and provide a tackle or a challenge on that far side.
Nice turn by Flax. Kenny lays it on back to Flax. Can he get it to White? He does. Low ball driven past the spot. Nobody there. Thomas drives deflected, finds the feet of Flax, and it's came off of Thomas's. Did it hit Alexic?
So
I could not tell in the redirect.
You're right. It did. It absolutely did. The shot was blocked by SMU, and then it's coming back. Dallin, good eyes to spot this here. This shot is going to deflect. Watch the referee. It's going to hit the referee and go back to Wake Forest. So there is a rule now that if it hits the referee and it stops play, you see that's why he's pointing the other direction. It's an uncontested drop ball. SMU will retain possession. Not that they knew much about it, but that is a rule technicality that came into play that stops that attack for Wake Forest.
That's fortunate for the Mustangs. Yeah, Wake had a real opportunity there with Jeffrey White down the flank.
Some good movement. Watch the weight of this pass. Going against the grain. It's a diagonal run, a straight ball, and that is inches away. With all the momentum going that way and in your favor, that is one of those, if you just get it on target, you've got a great chance to score from there. It's a game of inches at times, and about 2.5 minutes left. Wade could have called game with that build up and that attacking phase of play.
Scorsia brings it down. Chambron-Pino. This pass wayward. Gonna go back to Wake. Now 120 seconds from penalties if we do not have a goal in the next 2 minutes. First time we'd see a game go to penalties in the ACC tournament this year. Kruger tried to find White, could not connect. Lopez giving chase. Ponsa on it. Back to Alphen. Clemens looking for the big switch, delivers it, and White chests it down to Borso, who kind of overran it. So is Thomas the big switch. Cohen's on him now. Driven into Kennedy. Trying to turn, 40 seconds left. Can't connect. See if SMU presses it and pushes it, or are they just going to let this thing go out and walk us into OT.
At this point in time, there were still 2 goals left in the Notre Dame-Stanford game, so anything can happen.
You ain't lying. Stanford won 3-2 to advance in the tournament. They fell to Clemson. Now this ball's popped up. The countdown is on. Wake Forest happy to just let it go out. And here we go. To overtime, to penalties we go. 4 goals in 31 minutes in the second half. 20 minutes of overtime. The deadlock cannot be broken. It will be decided from 12 yards out. Here we go. Moving on to the ACC semifinal. Whoever can get it done. Oh.
At Burger King, we flame grill our burgers. Why? Because that's how it should be done. Hot, juicy, smoky, flame grilled, and made your way. Come experience the flame grilled difference with 2 Whopper Juniors for just $5.
There is no right final to compare with your imagination. Take a look, can't even see into your imagination.
Picture this. It's perfect out, but you're staying in. Because with the right furniture, this is the perfect way to spend the day. At American Signature Furniture, you don't have to picture it. You can experience it.
Nothing feels as good as driving a new Hyundai. And now you can get a great deal on your favorite model at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Plus, every Hyundai is backed by America's best warranty. Hurry to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event before this offer ends. Make your next getaway your best one yet. Drive away now in the Santa Fe with 1.99% APR for 72 months. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
It's the season of savings at Toyota of Melbourne. The best rates of the year have arrived and you don't want to miss out. Right now, you can drive the efficient and exciting 2025 Toyota Camry for 0% APR for 60 months. Or choose the safe and innovative 2024 Toyota Corolla for 0% APR. And finally, get the powerful workhorse that is the 2024 Toyota Tundra for, you guessed it, 0% APR for 60 months. The season of savings starts now at Toyota of Melbourne.
I'm a G, but you knew this.
Looks like it's prime time on.
Dr. Garcia?
Reality checkup! That grimy film on your teeth, it's actually the buildup of plaque bacteria, which can cause cavities and runts. And your toothpaste just isn't cutting it.
Most toothpaste quit working in minutes, but the antibacterial fluoride in Crest Pro Health protects for up to 12 hours.
So I can stop cavities before they start.
The #1 toothpaste brand in America. For even more protection, use with Crest Pro Health mouthwash. Crest.
Welcome back to Dallas. 2-2 after 110 minutes. We are on the precipice of penalty kicks here. Let's show you the goals because it was 0-0 deep into the second half, and then Bailey Sparks, the ball landed on his foot. Jamie Watson, he capitalized, and he did that too.
Bailey Sparks, the man of the moment at the hour mark to make it 1-0, and then Jalen Mitchell made it 2-0. Things were starting to get closer and closer. It becomes 2-2. We go to overtime, and man, after 2 goals in the 77th, the 80th minute, Wake Forest, they battled back. They did everything they needed to, and here's the first of those 2 goals. Cooper Flax from the free kick. One of the most beautiful free kicks we'll see all season long. And then you compound that effort with this goal from Ryan Belal in the 80th minute. That makes it 2-2. The overtime period, as we start to dissect the fine margins in overtime, and mistake of a bad back pass to Dominguez almost was the reason why this ended, but SMU were able to push through, and a couple of near half chances, some hard mouth moments for both sides. This maybe was the best of them all. So close from Wake Forest right before the end of the second overtime, but nothing to separate these 2 teams, and to the spot we go for penalty kicks to decide it.
And you see the scoring summary there. Now, here now in postseason with penalty situations, best of 5 penalty kicks. If we're tied after that, in a Southern victory, Martin Dominguez stopped the pen this year. It was against this Wake team, against Julian Kennedy, down to his left side. He is 1 for 2 in terms of facing pens this year. Trey Southam, 2 for 3 in terms of facing penalties. The problem for Wake has been converted, and they're only 2 of 5. But Cooper Flax, that man, has made both of their penalties this year. He is 2 for 3 on the campaign, and he will step to the spot first, as the coach and the Demon Deacs trying to get them off on the right foot. Winner of this game plays the winner of UVA and Pitt, Cary, North Carolina, where the semifinals will be and finals will be held. That game tonight, UVA Pitt, 8 o'clock Eastern ACC Network. Nick Alexa giving final instructions to Martin Dominguez and Trey Southam. Here we go, Jamie. We talk to coaches all the time. Is this just all about a mental battle for the guy with the ball 12 yards out?
Absolutely. First and foremost, there's no excuse for missing the target. You have to give yourself the opportunity. And then from there, the team that gets to go first has the advantage mentally. They get to go and apply pressure. But at this point in time, pick your spot. Do not second guess yourself. If you're going for power, put your foot through it. If you're going for placement, make sure you get it inch perfect.
He scored in the keeper Flax in the opener to this tournament, and a penalty to the left of the keeper, about middle height. We'll see what he does now. Same shot, better placement. Nothing Dominguez was doing about that. 1-0 Wake.
All the confidence in the world from Flax. Even if Dominguez guesses that way, there's no saving that one. Brilliant execution from the captain. Exactly what you need in this moment.
I love how the fans have poured out of the stands, folks, and they're now standing behind the goal, trying to buoy their Mustangs forward and heckle the Wake Forest keeper. and shooters. Owen Zarnik now, the center back, the junior now putting the ball down on the spot. Trace Alfin awaits, the seniors, second team all ACC keeper last year. Oh! Zarnik high and wide. Wake has the advantage.
The Cardinals in penalties, not hitting the target. Zarnik's body shape, watch how he's leaning back and just leans back too much. Advantage for Wake after round one. Gonna need a moment from Dominguez to try to steal one back.
And Ryan Belal, he had the equalizer in this game. The freshman from Baltimore, his first pen at the college level. Buckets right down the middle.
The two goal scorers for Wake stepped up in pressure-packed moments in the midst of 90 minutes. And then from 12 yards out, the assumption that Dominguez was going to guess away. Belal wins the mind games, executes it perfectly. Wake 2 for 2. Now, even more pressure for the up-stepping Nikola Djordjevic.
Djordjevic, 1 goal in the season, 5 assists though. He's effective down that right flank. Worked hard this game, but can he keep this thing in touching distance? He can.
Confidence, a goal that was needed. It's a thankless position to step up in this one, but the mentality has to be strong from Djordjevic. Good deception. Looks as though he was going to close the hips, opens at the very last second, and dispatches his penalty well.
Bassett walks to the spot now. That is always a long walk from midfield. The junior transfer from Dayton this offseason. His A-10 rookie of the year 2 years ago. Has had a very good season. Broke into the lineup and has started the last now 11 games. Cool as you like. 3-1 Wake.
This is another penalty with really good deception. Watch how the hips are open, and at the last second, he comes across. It is really good disguise from Bassett Umar. Wake in the driver's seat.
That Owen Zarnik started the shootout. And Jamie, I would get your take sometime. Is your best penalty taker go first, you wait to go last? Well, Bailey Sparks is the best penalty taker. He's 5 of 5. He steps to the spot, 5 of 5 on the season. That's second in the country in terms of made penalty kicks. But now he's at the spot with their third kick. Can't get it back to a 1-goal difference. Yes.
One of the best in the country from 12 yards out. So much confidence from Bailey Sparks. Offering guesses correctly, but nothing you can do when it's hit that perfectly. Nothing less than you'd expect from Bailey Sparks. The goal scorer of the game's first goal steps up and delivers again from 12 to keep SMU within reaching distance.
Now Jose Perez on the spot, the sophomore from Illinois. It's been a staple in that midfield. All these injuries all year long, but he started every game but one for this squad. Driven low, and all the pressure is on the Mustangs. They must score to keep this alive.
When you're up in the shootout like this, your confidence is so high, the belief is so high. That stutter step got Dominguez to bite a half-second early, and Perez was able to do exactly what he needed to. And now this moment right here, Pino has to score to continue it. This is one of the most pressure-filled moments he will have felt in the entirety of his SMU career.
Chambron Pino to keep the postseason hopes of the ACC Men's Soccer Championship alive for the Mustangs. Delivers. He did his part. Now they're going to hope Martin Dominguez can get a stop.
Pino changes the run up and he goes high down the middle. Wonderful execution. Does his job. Now, this is the best position to be in. You understand that if you are stepping up to take this penalty, and if you're Will Jackson, you know if you score, you send your team through. If you miss, your team is still alive. That gives you all the confidence and the belief to step up and deliver in this moment.
The freshman has not played in this game. This will be his first touch of the ball to end the game. And he misses! Your heart breaks for him, but the Mustangs are amped.
Oh my goodness. The Mustangs needed something to go their way. And they got the gift given to them of the goalkeeper's best friend. Jackson just wonder if he saw Dominguez going that way, so he pulled it just a little bit more at the last moment. And now, this is the moment where SMU can turn this around, and who else but Rubalcaba to step up with the captain's armband when the team needs him the most to deliver from 12 to keep this going.
He has to finish. Can Alfred make the save? Rubalcaba does it! We're level.
The advantage that Wake had from the first round on is completely gone. Rubalcaba knows that he needed to deliver. The grad student understands the pressure in that moment and the relief that he feels when it hits the back of the net. The Mustangs have new life.
Mason Sullivan, another freshman that has not featured in this game. This is fascinating. Will Jackson missed his last. Will Sullivan step up? Get down. Smoke down the middle. Confident young man.
There we go. Steps up, does his job. Bobby Muse would have seen something in training to understand that Sullivan is the man to step up in these pressure-filled moments. And my goodness, nearly ripped the leather off the ball. Now the pressure is on Lamar Bynum to keep this going.
Senior from Albuquerque. Had a lot of injuries throughout the day. It's been a physical game for him, but he has to make this to extend this penalty shootout. It's wide! Wake survives and advances. Down 2-0 on the road.